So, okay, I've talked about this multiple times over. When it comes to unconventional methods to take care of your heart health, the one cup of wine a day, the one glass of wine a day, I do it for my heart. Yeah, sure, they're lush, whatever you need to do to justify your own bad actions. But when it comes to this, how chocolate supplements, I beg your pardon, chocolate flavored, when it comes to whey protein isolate, like I normally get the chocolate one because it normally tastes better than the vanilla alternative. Although, I gotta give it up to certain newer variations on a vanilla taste. It's not at all like what it used to be. They're actually pretty decent, and especially if you have ice cold water over the top of it, I'd actually kind of recommend some of the vanilla flavors that are out there for some things, okay? Especially if you can get a good vanilla bean one, but I digress. We're talking about chocolate supplements. Hopefully that's what they're talking about, because I can't really see the forest through the trees on this one. And it could slow down aging and prevent death by heart disease. Okay, so chocolate will stop you from contracting heart disease. Wait, what? New research suggests cocoa extract supplements might actually help you live longer by slowing down the inflammation that accelerates aging. Better yet, it may also have a lower risk of dying from heart disease, the top killer nationwide. Okay, the study calls for more attention to the advantage of plant-based foods for cardiovascular health, including cocoa products rich in flavanols. Okay, this makes sense. It reinforces the importance of a diverse, colorful plant-based diet, especially in the context of inflammation. Past studies have found that cocoa extract can reduce inflammatory markers in the body, largely thanks to its high flavanol content. And honestly, like I've never really been I'm not that big of a chocolate guy. I've been more of a candy guy, especially in my fatter youth. But ever since I started to experiment more with different spices and stuff like that, I've come to really appreciate cocoa and how it can just add to a bunch of different baking and more savory foods. So yeah, okay, if it has similar cinnamon inflammation reduction tendencies, I mean, I'd be down to throwing it in there. Okay, prevents blood clots and improves a blood vessel function. Holy crap, words are difficult. To better understand the connection, Brigham and Women's Hospital launched the Cosmos trial. Okay, a long-term study explores how cocoa extract affects heart health and fights inflammaging. Okay, the chronic low-grade inflammation that hastens aging. Okay, very funny, and raises the risk of chronic disease. We appreciate the important overlap between healthy aging and cardiovascular health, where aging-related inflammation can harden arteries and lead to cardiovascular disease, said Sesso, the associate director of the Division of Preventative Medicine at Brigham and Women's Hospital. Because of that, we wanted to see whether multi-year cocoa extract supplementation versus a placebo would modulate inflammaging, okay, and the data suggests it does. Sesso and his team analyzed the blood samples from 598 Cosmo participants aged 60 or older who were taking cocoa extract supplements. Over a 2-year follow-up period, tracked changes in several inflammaging biomarkers, including 3 pro-inflammatory proteins, 1 anti-inflammatory protein, and 1 immune-mediating protein. Okay. By the end of the study, the scientists found that levels of 1 pro-inflammatory protein tied to a higher heart disease risk called HSCRP dropped 8.4% each year in those taking cocoa supplements compared to the placebo group. The other markers mostly stayed steady or rose slightly. The drop in HSCRP could explain the heart protective effects seen in larger Cosmos trials, in which people taking cocoa extract had a 27% lower chance of dying from cardiovascular disease, researchers said. That's huge. In the United States, a person dies from heart disease every 34 seconds. Shit, that's crazy. In 2023, the condition accounted for 1 in 3 deaths across the country, according to the CDC. Interestingly, we also observed an increase in interferon Y, an immune-related cytokine, which opens new questions for future research. These small proteins play a key role in regulating the immune response and inflammation, both of which contribute to the aging process. So yeah, man, who knew that cocoa extract would have that big of a benefit on your health, being similar but different to cinnamon? And honestly, both of them have such a symbiotic relationship. I got to try to start to work this stuff in, because honestly, I do like the taste of cocoa, and if it's really that good for you, hey, what do we got to lose to run it out every now and again? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.